Welcome to the Life After Sugar podcast, the podcast that's not just about sugar, but about your relationship with it and also with food and especially with yourself. So if you want to discover your life after sugar and hear inspiring stories from all kinds of people who also cut out sugar in their way, at their pace, for their own reasons, this is the podcast for you. Because when you take away the sugar, you can finally discover the real sweetness in your life. I'm your host, Netta Gorman, and in this episode, I want to talk about what to do when cravings hit. And a common fear that I hear about often, and that I had myself, was that if I cut sugar, won't this make my cravings worse? I'll give you my answer in just a minute. But first, I just wanted to tell you that if you're looking for some free resources, then I have plenty for you. First, download my 5 tips to get rid of cravings. And those 5 tips may not be what you think they are. So go to aftersugarclub.com and download your 5 tips today. And while you're at aftersugarclub.com, why not take the cravings quiz? I created this cravings quiz specifically to help you start thinking more deeply about what triggers your cravings. And when you do this quiz, you'll get your personalized score as well as my practical tips to help you take your first step to get rid of cravings. Those free resources are at aftersugarclub.com. And also, come check out the Life After Sugar Facebook page and subscribe to the Life After Sugar YouTube channel, as well as my Instagram account at My Life After Sugar, which is where you'll get all kinds of inspiration so that you can see that it's perfectly possible to live a happy and active life, even if you don't eat sugar. You can also check out my TikTok account at Netta_lifeaftersugar. All right, so in this episode, I want to talk to you about what to do when cravings hit and the common fear that if you cut sugar, won't it make your cravings worse? Well, let's be honest. At first, it really can feel that way, but it's not because you're doing something wrong or because cutting sugar isn't a good idea. It's just because your body is adjusting. And this is what I want to talk about first. See, if you've been eating sugar most of your life, as most of us have, including myself, your body has been running mainly on glucose. And that's really sugar from carbohydrates, flour, starchy foods, and sweet foods. And glucose is great. It's quick fuel and it's quick energy. But if you're eating foods that spike your glucose and that spike it frequently, then what happens is that your blood sugar or your blood glucose and your insulin go up and down all day, every day. And basically your body gets used to that glucose roller coaster, which means that when you stop feeding your body constant sugar, your insulin levels start to drop. And at the same time, your body has to upregulate enzymes that let you burn stored fat instead of glucose. Stored fat is basically body fat. And if you're looking to lose body fat, then cutting sugar so that your body can access that stored body fat is ideal. Except that this biological process takes time. And this relatively sudden change in the source of fuel for your body can make you have cravings, like a strong, urgent pull towards specific foods, especially sugary foods. And maybe like a tight, restless feeling in your body, and like obsessive thoughts about certain types of foods, and even irritability or anxiety until you cave and give in and have that food. So a craving can feel like something that's never going to go away unless you give in to it. And that's kind of the catch-22 situation with cravings, we feel like they'll only go away if we give in to them. And then when we do, we feel guilty and ashamed and beat ourselves up about it, right? And not everybody suffers from cravings. But if you're worried about getting cravings that you just can't resist if you do decide to cut sugar, see if you can think of a craving like a wave. It rises, peaks, and then falls. And over time, it can become less and less intense, especially if you don't feed it. And I know how intense a craving can feel, and you can be suffering so much that you can't even ride that wave for a second. I totally get it. I've definitely been there. But you know what they say? If you don't change, nothing changes. So if you want to get rid of cravings, you may need to change your approach with cravings. I want to take a quick break to say that if this is your first time here, then welcome and thank you for listening to this podcast. And whether you're new or a regular and you haven't yet rated or reviewed this podcast, could I ask you to scroll down and tap on the stars to rate this podcast and also to write a short review to let me know how this podcast is helping you in your life after sugar. I love reading your reviews. And when you rate and review this podcast, not only does it encourage me to continue making new episodes, but it also helps to share this podcast and have more people see it so that we can help more people feel better and lose weight with less sugar. So again, thank you for rating and reviewing this podcast and for spreading the word about sugar. So I was saying just before the break that if nothing changes, then nothing changes. And so if you approach cravings in the exact same way as you've always done, nothing's ever going to change. But if you can just take a few seconds, even a minute, to just pause, breathe, and tell yourself, you can decide to do something else. You can tell yourself, I don't have to eat that food I'm craving right at this second. I can count to 10. I can decide to drink a glass of water, or even some broth, or a pinch of salt in your water, because a lot of cravings are actually dehydration or low salt in your body. And a lot of cravings have got absolutely nothing to do with real hunger. It's just your body is so used to being fed sugar that it doesn't know what to do with itself when it's not getting its sugar fix. But if you are actually hungry, eat some real food, some protein, and healthy fats to calm the cravings. You can also practice just breathing slowly, in through your nose, and a longer breath when you exhale. This can help calm your whole body down. I know it may feel impossible to do anything but reach out for the foods that you're craving, but if you can take just a second to stop that automatic behavior and even ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen if I don't eat that food that I'm craving? Will the sky fall on my head? I very much doubt it. Sometimes putting things into perspective, especially when it feels so intense, is a really good skill to develop. And you could also move your body, either gently with stretching or shaking out tension, or more briskly like going for a run. Cravings come back if we feed them, and they will gradually disappear if you don't give them the attention that they're seeking. And yes, cravings are very often way more about your feelings and your relationship with the foods that you're craving than just a physical reaction. And cravings can show up when you're stressed or lonely or bored or tired, or when you need comfort or reward, because your brain has been trained to equate sugar with a type of relief. So when something feels hard, well, it brings up the memory of that quick source of comfort. And that is totally normal. But the good news is that that association can be changed. So rather than reach out for instant gratification, take a second to notice what you're feeling and to ask yourself, what do I really need right now? Do I need rest? Do I need connection? Do I need calm? Do I need to take a pause? And when you become more aware of your real needs, then cravings start losing their power over you. And I realize that this can seem far easier said than done. And some people do actually manage to get rid of cravings all on their own, or with just the help of this podcast. And if that's the case for you, that's wonderful. I know that personally, I would have loved to have had some help and understanding and a helping hand so that I didn't feel so alone and lost when I first cut sugar. And that is exactly why I created my 12-week program, the Freedom from Cravings Formula. Because I created this program specifically to help you go deeper into your relationship with food, especially sugar, and also into your relationship with yourself, so that you can finally get rid of cravings, slim down, and feel more in control around food. In the program, you'll get step-by-step guidance and customized support through the 5-step formula that I've developed to help you get control over cravings so that you can finally live your life with more energy and fit into your favorite clothes effortlessly and feel confident in your food choices so that you can ditch the shame and embarrassment that you feel every time your emotions make you slip or fall off the wagon, and so that you never feel like you're on some kind of restrictive diet. If you're at the stage of your life when you're finally ready to look after yourself, let's chat. You can talk directly to me on a free clarity call at any time by going to aftersugarclub.com and clicking on Program at the top. You'll also find the link with the show notes together with this episode. So go to aftersugarclub.com. Speak to you soon. That's it for this week. Keep in touch and see you soon for another episode.